Hello everyone and welcome back to WhiskyWars. I know I've been gone a long time, but I'm back to film an Irish review today with the really famous Greenspot against Yellowspot. Now the Greenspot is the entry level whisky in this distillery. It's bottled at 40% and it's a non-aged liquid, but I think it's probably around 7 years or so old. The Yellowspot is 12 years old and it's bottled at 46%, so higher proof and around 5 years older. And it's also been aged in a combination of 3 different barrels. We've got sherry barrels, Malaga barrels and bourbon barrels, and it's non-chill filtered. So right off the bat you're probably thinking the Yellowspot is clearly the better whisky here, but I will quickly touch on the price before I start. The Greenspot is around £35 in the UK, with the Yellowspot being significantly more. It can be anywhere from £60 to £65, sometimes a little bit higher. So quite an expensive whisky for a 12-year-old Irish. Now when many people talk about Irish whisky, they usually are talking about the Spot line or the Redbreast line. Strangely enough, with the Greenspot, when I first bought this whisky, I was really unimpressed. But the more whiskies I buy and the more Irish whiskies that I buy, especially the last year, the more appreciative I really am of the Greenspot. And I think that's important for everyone's whisky journey as well, is if you try a whisky and you don't initially like it, stick with it, don't just finish the bottle. Try other whiskies that are maybe similar, and you never know, you might come back to that whisky and find a lot more in it that you really enjoy. It's a really lovely, light, floral whisky, and very sweet. Initially I get pears and a little bit of vanilla, like a vanilla cream. I can really, and I think that vanilla cream is perhaps coming from the bourbon cask. A lovely butterscotch and honey with that vanilla cream. But the 2 main notes are apple and pears, which is what you would perhaps expect. But that vanilla cream I've not really got on a lot of Irish whiskies, and it's really nice. Onto the Yellowspot. It's a very different liquid on the nose. Far sweeter. Even though it's 6% higher in proof, I wasn't really feeling the difference on the nose. But the big difference is the sweetness aspect. Orchard fruits and vanilla on the Greenspot, whereas the Yellowspot is far more sherried in nature. Maybe a little bit of tropical fruit as well, like an apricot. A little bit of mango. So veering away from those traditional orchard fruits, which the Greenspot has, and moving into a bit more of an exotic fruit lineup, and it's really nice on the nose. A little bit of lemon as well for a citrus kick, and also I'm getting a little bit of a spice in there on the Yellowspot, which on the Greenspot I wasn't getting any spice. But interestingly, a little bit of an oak character on the nose of the Greenspot that I wasn't getting on the Yellowspot. The Yellowspot was giving off a little bit more of a spice, maybe like a cinnamon. Okay, we'll start with the tasting of the Greenspot. The Greenspot on the taste is very fresh and oily. A lot of vanilla cream and oak as well on that taste. and it's actually really nice. You can tell that it's not an old whiskey. Just on the finish, you can taste a little bit of ethanol on the taste. It runs a little bit thin. However, that it has a lot more flavour and substance than a lot of other non-age statement Irish whiskies that I've tried. There is a spice there. It is quite, maybe a little bit peppery, but more of that wood spice. But it's balanced out with vanilla cream and orchard fruits. And when I say orchard fruits, I just mean apple and pears. A little bit of something citrus in there as well. Maybe a bit of lemon. Really pleasant, and I know I touched on the price earlier, around £35, but you can get deals on this whiskey, so you can get it for around the £30 mark. Onto the Yellowspot. As expected, a very different whiskey on the taste as well as the nose. Far more sherried. The 6% higher proof, just like with the nose, it's not too noticeable. So this is a very soft drinking whiskey. Far more sherried, like it was on the nose. Less spicy as well, and sweeter. I get more of a creme brulee on the taste initially, and it's very thick and sweet, very syrupy. So I think for me the overarching notes on that first tasting was maybe like a caramel syrup on with a creme brulee, and quite a strong sherry presence, bit raisiny. It's a really nice whiskey, a really nice whiskey. It's still quite light and floral, but at the same time it's a dark fruit heavy sugar syrup, maybe more molasses in nature, and perhaps that's the Malaga cask working through. I would say where there was a little bit of lemon on the Greenspot, perhaps that's more an orange on the Yellowspot. Certainly sweeter, but the spice I was getting on the nose, which was maybe more cinnamon, it's still a baking spice, but perhaps it's more like a nutmeg or a clove on that taste. It's weirdly heartwarming and Christmassy, even though it's very floral and very sweet, which I would think of more of a summer drink. A little bit of an oaky presence coming through on the back end. It's a really well balanced dram, and I have to say both of these whiskies are really nice. I'll just quickly go back over the Greenspot and then give you my overall thoughts. So overall, the Greenspot is a lovely whiskey. a shorter experience and not as full-bodied, and doesn't have as much complexity as the Yellowspot does. But the Greenspot, it is still really nice. Vanilla cream, oak, apples and pears. A really, really nice whiskey. It's an easy drinking whiskey. And for the price point of £30–35, I think it's a bottle that everyone should try, especially if you like Irish whiskey. You're going to really like the Greenspot. The Yellowspot, on the other hand, complex. There's an intensity there, a complexity there. Very, very easy drinking for 46%, but so much character. It's not just a sit back and relax whiskey. I think you could really go into this and really pick out different parts of it. I think there's an orange marmalade presence in this whiskey as well. Baking spices. I think the more you drink this, the more you could unpick in it. One of my favourite Irish whiskies, I will say, definitely in my top 5 Irish whiskies. This bottle, it's really, really nice. My only gripe with this whiskey is the price point. I think it's really expensive. This whiskey, £65–70. I think if you get lucky, you could probably get it for around £60. For me, I bought this in duty free, and that makes the whiskey a steal, and you should go for it. But I think for people watching this video, going out and buying Yellowspot today, you're probably going to have to pay quite a lot of money for it. I know in Ireland this is an €85 whiskey in shops. I've never paid over, I think, £63 for a bottle of whiskey, so it's really expensive, and maybe not for you though, watching this video. And it is a sublime whiskey, a really, really nice whiskey. The better of the two is clearly the Yellowspot, but for the price point, the Greenspot is really, really, really good. But I just have to say it's one of my favourite whiskies, and I think if you like Irish whiskey, you will adore the Yellowspot 12. And so for that reason, today's winner is the Yellowspot 12. And just before you click off the video, if you like the video, please like the video and share the video with a friend. I would really, really appreciate that. I tried my best to do this video in one take, maybe a little bit slow on the tasting notes before I gave my opinion, so I might have to do a cut there. I don't know how John from Whiskey Neighbour does it. To do it in one take, really, really difficult, more off the cuff for sure, but I hope it turned out okay. Thanks for watching, guys, and I hope to see you all for the next video.